Hey bag ladies and bag dudes, I'm Sara Lawson from So Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Ask Sara, my weekly Q&A chat. All right, we're having technology problems with Facebook.
You failed, Sara.
No, I didn't fail. We are having technology problems with Facebook. Hopefully those of you that are watching over on Facebook are getting our stream live right now. Danny's working on some things, so he asked... Wow, that was...
I did a pretty good job. I forewarned Sara, like, hey, listen, just draw it out for a few more seconds, because Facebook's got an issue with our comments, so I had to manually do it, and
I was clearly
she totally didn't do it, and yeah, we're back to normal though.
But we're here, so it's all good.
Yep.
I hope you had a great Easter. If you celebrate Easter, we sure did. I've been firing up the Instant Pot lately, making some soups. I don't know if you have an Instant Pot. I follow a few blogs online, cooking like recipe blogs. My two favorite that I follow are Skinny Taste, and then the other one is Gimme Some Oven, kind of like Gimme Some Lovin', but Gimme Some Oven. So I get their email newsletters, and whenever I find a really good recipe, I print it out, put it in my binder, and then I also save it on Pinterest. And so there's a few good ones that I found recently. I made a split pea the other day, which was really good. I had it leftovers for lunch today. And another one that I wanted to make was Mexican chicken lentil soup. I think that was from Give Me Some Oven, but that one sounded really good. And the photo of it was the soup, and they had some avocados sliced over it. So delicious. It's funny because when I was a kid growing up, not even a kid, I would say until the last couple of years, like I really didn't like avocados. I never wanted to eat them, but we started eating guacamole recently, and like even just having sliced avocado over soup is really good. So anyway, we'll see. Hopefully I can make that Mexican chicken lentil soup tomorrow. So Michelle, Graham, and Bronwyn let me know that the week 4 randomly drawn winner of the Sublime Bag So Long that's happening right now in the Facebook group, that winner is Leanne Lottridge, and this is Leanne's progress photo. She used some natural cork. I think that's with the gold metallic and some fabric from Art Gallery Fabrics. And so love the front of her bag, how it looks. I like how she fussy cut the rabbits on the front. So Leanne, if you're watching, feel free to drop me a line after the show and I'll get you your prize. Bronwyn also mentioned that after tonight's show, the final album for the Sublime Bag So Long will be posted so that everyone that's working on their bags can post when they're ready, post their finished photographs of their Sublime bags. So I can't wait. That's the best album out of the whole So Long, seeing all the finished bags coming through. And well, I don't know, maybe one of those will be your pick of the week next week, and we'll have prizes, of course.
Is that a hint saying I should pick one?
No. We'll have prizes when the So Long wraps up, and
I'm still waiting for your mom's pick because I think your dad's threatened me once already.
My mom made a couple of the Minikins Season 2 Dab Essential Oil cases, and she's really excited about them. She cut out fabric a few days ago for the Creative Maker supply case. She wanted to make one for her Kindle, so I'm excited to see her finish that. She was picking out zippers. She came over the other day to pick out zippers. She picked out a few different colors and mesh too, just because she wasn't sure what fabric she was going to go with exactly, I think. So excited to see those. And also excited to see the finished bags coming into the Sublime Bag So Long album, of course, over on Facebook. So Danny's second favorite part of the Tuesday show, go ahead and let us know if you're a bag lady or a bag dude.
Wrong one. I got it.
Your finger slipped, right?
It's been a while since I've been in this position, so I'm a little under pressure.
Oh yeah, we had the book club last week, so you were not off last week. You were behind the camera last week.
It's definitely easier behind the camera over there. Let me give you my resting bee face.
Oh, goodness. While those bag lady and bag dude...
Sara, you're on a roll this week. Let me just help you. Take a deep breath. At least she's had her water bottle out. I'm like, Sara, chug your water. We don't want any problems with Sunday where you look like you're choking out on the show. And, take it easy, relax.
I know. Too much going on here. Laura Middleton sent me a really nice email the other day that I wanted to share on the show with her permission. And when I get to the end of the email, I know your jaw's going to drop. So you might want to sit down because, wow, this is...
Let me buckle up for this wild ride.
Yes. So Laura says, thank you, Sarah and Danny, for all you do. I watch your shows faithfully, and although I've been a bag maker and quilter for over 30 years, I still learn quite a bit from you. I teach classes on quilting and bag making. I have for some time. Your tutorials and the way you show the directions in ways that others might not help me and help others. Everyone has their own ways, but when you watch someone, you can learn to put that into your skills too, and really hopefully master that goal. I would love to join the book club, but at this time I can't, so I listen to you all talk about it, and I feel happy to be a part of it. To let you know, I am up to, I'm going to repeat this because this is amazing. To let you know, I am up to 305 cotton candy pouches. That's one of the Minikin Season 1 patterns. 305, she said. Laura says, I made 40 for my show this past week and sold them all. I was so happy. I have another big show in June and plan on making way more. You are a very sweet lady, and I thank you for all you do for us. Hugs from a big major fan, Laura. So, again, 305 cotton candy pouches. I can't even imagine. And she sold 40 at a single craft show. That's crazy amazing. I know that they were sold over time, but like I'm just picturing in my head seeing like a photograph of Laura with like 305 cotton candy pouches around her.
And if I know you, you'd be laying on the ground and put all your cotton candy pouches like around you and say, Danny, stand above me and take a picture.
How would you even fit 305 in the same picture? I don't even know.
You'd stack them up pretty tall.
Wow, that's crazy. I love
like
that.
Game of Thrones, like there's that, the throne is made out of swords. Her
Oh,
throne
yeah.
is made out of cotton candy bags.
That's awesome. I love that. Maybe if we have like a super talented graphic designer that's watching, they could, I'm just kidding when I say this, but like make a throne with like all the pouches. Oh, Laura's watching.
Yeah, I see her commenting every week, it feels
Yeah,
like.
I know she watches all the time.
Yep, she's a very active member.
Yep, definitely. So anyway, thanks for sending me that email, Laura. It really made my day. What's so funny?
Casey, I'll share
Okay.
for everyone.
Casey says, if anyone needs me, I'll be collecting my lower jaw from the floor. 305. Wow.
Wow, I'm stuck at half because I'm not even at one. So that's a tough one.
All right, so let's jump over to your pick of the week on that note.
Okay, my pick of the week is this wonderful, let me see if my memory serves correct. Kind of bag is it? I believe it's a dash bag, and the lady who made it, her name, Sarah's got it written down, but I'm trying to use my memory because it's, make that brain stronger. I know it's Renee is her middle name, but I don't have to cheat. Anne Renee is who made this, and it was an awesome picture. Look at the backdrop. This is United Kingdom.
Oops.
Oh, it wants to switch to the next one.
Can you leave it up there for like a...
It won't let me control from here. For some reason,
Okay.
it's switching to the next one like it's a group.
Okay.
I can just keep hitting the button.
I believe that Anne said that this was the building that was inspired by Downton Abbey, or where they filmed it. I haven't
Right.
watched Downton Abbey, but I recall from seeing like marketing, like trailers and things, that building, and so it's very iconic, and I love seeing the dash
Yeah, I
bags
thought it was
in
great. I
front.
love how they were set up like a little family almost in front of the.
Yeah,
the
that was a
building.
great picture, and I love that. And thanks for picking that one.
Yep.
Good choice.
Thanks.
Sometimes I disagree with, you're like, we disagree on our picks. So I'm like, why don't you pick this one? He's like, no, I'm going to pick this one. And, but yeah, I think we were both in agreement. So that was an excellent choice for this week. So if you have any bag making questions about a notion or tool, or general sewing questions, let's chat about that. So go ahead and let me know, and I'll answer as many questions as I can live. Danny's going to be searching for the questions. So that's why sometimes he has a stern face when he's looking at the laptop. He's looking hard for questions amid
Well, there's
the
a delay.
comments.
So Sarah said, let's ask questions, and that's going to go through the internet. Then it's going to go to the internet to your house. Then it's going to come to your house. You're typing it out, and it's going to come to us, and it's going to be, maybe a minute or two delay until we get the actual comments coming through.
Plus, it takes time to type a comment in,
Yep.
Generally.
That was the typing portion of my demonstration.
That's a good question. For Sarah, the ones that can't get the books to follow along with you, this is about the book club book selections. Is there anyone willing to donate or sell the ones they already have read? I would be interested, please. So maybe leave a follow-up comment if that is you, or you can go ahead and comment in the Facebook group.
Yeah, the Facebook group would probably be a great place for that, because then you could say,
I
hey,
saw a
you
few
know,
of those posts before where people had finished their books and they wanted to pass it on to someone else. Just in case your library can't get a hold of a copy, or your library, maybe there's a waiting list, because I know that happens sometimes. I know my mom mentioned she just got the third copy for the book club from her library. She must have been first in line because she got it really quick. Terry said, can you recommend a piping tool? I don't know that I use a certain tool, but I do use, when I make piping, I like using either Pell on Wonder Web or Pell on Wonder Under. Let me see if I have a package over here on my desk. Yeah, I do. Oh, so here's the Pell on Wonder Under. It comes in a little orange box if you're going to your craft store, if you live in the U.S. And it's 5/8 of an inch wide, and it's basically paper-backed fusible web. So it's double-sided. So what you'll do is, and I have a video on my YouTube channel on how I make my piping. You'll iron this tape to your fabric, and I usually use bias tape so that it's nice and stretchy. It can go through a curve. You iron this to your fabric first, and then when it's completely cool, and that's really important, it's got to be completely cooled, otherwise the paper won't peel back nicely. When it's all the way cool, you just peel the paper back and it reveals the second side of the adhesive, and I usually nestle my cotton cording in the fabric, and then I iron the second side of the fusible web to seal the piping in. So I don't technically use a tool, but this is really handy for getting really nice looking piping without having to use a piping foot. If you do have a piping foot, you might want to skip this, but not everyone has a piping foot, so this is really handy. Beatles fan Sonia says, do purse feet come in different sizes? So they actually do. I've seen a whole range of different sizes. I guess I tend to use the smaller size of the size range, 1/4 inch, and I've seen some that I've purchased some for my rivet press that I've never used, but they're really huge. They're like domes, so they can come in different sizes. Also, Chicago screws come in several different sizes as well. I'm not sure why I mentioned Chicago screws. I just got some in the mail, so that's probably why I was thinking about that. Tammy says, important sewing question. What's the name of the ice cream place y'all frequent? We like ice cream, so there's a few.
There's two, I think, are a go-to.
So there's a mom and pop shop.
Sweet Oasis.
It's called Sweet Oasis. And then we like going to Culver's, which is Culver's a national chain or just in the Midwest? I'm not really sure. They make
on Southport's probably the other one.
Oh, also, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure if this is a Midwest chain, but Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams is really good. And if you like ice cream, even if you're not in the Midwest, Jenny from Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams has 2 ice cream cookbooks. I have both of them. And I purchased the ice cream maker that she recommends in her book. And I've made a lot of ice creams from her cookbooks. My favorite is the lemon cream, which is not like a lemon sherbet. It's like an actual lemon ice cream. That's one of my favorites. I like salted caramel. I've made that. That's good. She has a chocolate. Her chocolate is called Milkiest Chocolate. That's probably my most favorite. I've made the strawberry as well. Anyway, so if you like ice cream, Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams, her cookbooks, really great. Terry says, what Instant Pot do you have? I'm not sure what the model is on mine.
It's a 6-quart.
It is a 6-quart. That's true. Thank you. Oh, good memory.
Instant Pot brand.
Instant Pot, yes.
Yeah.
Prudence said, oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
I call it Instapot, but it's really an instant
Pot, yeah. Prudence says, which Kai scissors do you recommend? I have number 7205. I actually have 2 pairs because I thought I lost one when we were having our home renovated, and my parents came over the other day, and I don't know why my dad was holding the scissors, but he's like, oh, wow, these are so smooth. So
he didn't even cut anything. Wait till you cut something with them, then you're like,
oh, yeah,
wow,
that's right. He didn't cut anything.
That's the difference when you actually try them.
That's true. Mary says, for the park sling, can I mark the pattern pieces reversed onto the back of the fabric? Yes, you sure can. Actually, I do that a lot of the time, especially if I'm using a darker fabric, just because I know I can see my markings if I mark on the wrong side of the fabric instead. Renee says, not bag related. How's Flash doing? Flash, thank you for asking. Flash is doing awesome. What's going on with her?
She went outside for the first time?
She did on Easter. She went outside for the first time. She has a little harness, and so we put the harness on her. And the harness is for safety because even though she moves slowly, if she gets scared, she can be really fast. And I'm in a Bearded Dragon group on Facebook, and I've heard stories from my Bearded Dragon group of people taking their Bearded Dragons outside, the Bearded Dragon getting scared, running off, and then they could never find the Bearded Dragon. And that's something to be concerned about because they're desert animals, and depending on where you live, they can't necessarily stay out overnight and survive. And so I'm really scared about that, but she had fun. I was looking forward to actually some dandelions growing in our yard because they like eating the yellow dandelion flowers. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about having dandelions in the yard this year, but we don't fertilize our grass, so it would be okay for her to eat them. Anyway.
It just made me think of it is
Yes.
People interested in the cookbook. If you are not currently following Michelle Graham on Instagram, you need to get on it quickly if you're interested in the cookbook, because I'll tell you what, she's posted well over 10 recipes already, at least 10 recipes, and she makes them look amazing. Great pictures. Michelle, if you have your Instagram,
No,
post...
she's watching the hockey game tonight.
I'll take that back. Don't look at her Instagram. No, it's a great feed.
Well, we have to give them the link so they can follow her.
Yeah, it'll be in the Facebook group if Michelle chooses to share it, but I can't see why she wouldn't.
Well, let me grab my phone really quick, and then I can get the appropriate. I do follow her, but I just don't know off the top of my head.
I thought I had my phone over here. Why is the zipper on the Clydebank tote so long? I have problems with twisting when they are open, Sarah.
I cannot find
Probably so it gives you a full closure when you zip it so it falls out. It's my guess, but we'll see from the expert. Sarah, you hand me my phone. I'll get it.
I don't know where your phone is.
It's right there on the desk. While you wait for that, I'll say hello to Rhonda, saying hello from Chicago. How you doing tonight, Rhonda? It's pretty nice. We had nice weather this weekend. To Monday till today. Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Wow, we're being so unprofessional tonight.
It's mostly Sarah, I think.
All right, so the question was, why is the zipper so big on the Clydebank tote?
Yes, ma'am.
I pulled mine out so we could share.
Let me take that comment off.
All right, so the Clydebank tote has a tail on the end over here, and so the reason that I designed it like that, there's a recessed zipper in the inside. The reason I designed it like this is so as you're assembling the bag, putting the lining and exterior right sides together, you could go ahead and have the zipper unzipped and then be free to top stitch. If there wasn't the tail on the zipper, this end would be not loose, and so you wouldn't have as much clearance to flatten the fabric out as you're top stitching. You'd have to I don't know, you just have less, it wouldn't be flat. You'd have to work around the curved end of the bag, but because you can unzip it all the way, you can have like the whole bag flattened against the bed of your sewing machine. So that was the reason for that. If you prefer not to have the tail end, you could certainly instead work with a separating zipper, which means when you unzip the zipper, it doesn't stop on the end. There's not a metal zipper stop. It just kind of separates, like if you have a zippered hoodie. Or your coat, your winter coat, when you unzip it, the bottom of the zipper, comes apart. That's a separating zipper. Okay,
it's not under Michelle Graham. I do follow her on here, so I'm looking through my feed.
Why do you have to look through your feed, Kenny?
Because I typed Michelle Graham and it's her private one. She's got a separate one.
Ew, okay, all right.
Hey, sir, you can take the questions.
Okay,
You click on it, and you hit do amazing things, and it'll do amazing things.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good comment. Barbara says, "Hi, Sarah. Did you notice that Crafty Gemini is looking for favorite places in Chicago? She's coming to town. I might have some pictures to share with you on Sunday's show." That's all I'm going to say about that. It's been a while since I did this, Danny. Do I just click on the next comment?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. How do you use flatter spray? So Ruth wants to know. So where's my flatter? I don't see my flatter spray on my messy desk right now. So flatter is a starch alternative spray. So what I do is, especially if I'm working with fabrics that have tons of wrinkles, or I just need to get a nice crisp piece of fabric, especially if I'm making quilt blocks, I just go ahead and give the wrong side of the fabric a good spray and then hit it with my iron. And lately I've been using my wool pressing mat a lot.
Got it.
Instead of my ironing board. And so that's my process for using the flatter spray.
It is M. Graham Sews.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, yeah, did you? I'd love to hear that one before I looked all that.
So if you go Instagram.com/mgramsews, you don't even have to be an Instagram user. You can just Google it and
Yep.
it'll come up. And
Even on your desktop, not even you don't need a phone, you don't need an iPad.
yeah, whatever your device is. So again, that's Instagram.com/mgramsews. Gram spelled like graham cracker. And then all the recipes that Michelle's been making from the So Sweetness cookbook. She's been taking pictures and she's been making a new one just about every night. And that So Sweetness community cookbook is on my website. You can find it under sosweetness.com/blog, and then it'll be one of the recent blog posts, and it's a free download. I think there were 152 recipes total, so a range of things from appetizers, meals, desserts, salads, all sorts of
I'll
things.
count how many she's made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 meals already.
Okay, that's a lot.
It's not even been out that long. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly.
Denise says, do you have to have bag zippers for the Baker Street bag, or can I use a regular one? You can use either. So you can either use a handbag zipper, which is usually number 4.5 or 5, or you can use a number 3 dress skirt zipper, which is the slimmer zipper with generally with the smaller pull. Jean says, do magnetic snaps come in different strengths? I used one on a satellite bag that hardly holds at all. So unfortunately, yes, magnetic snaps and also invisible magnetic snaps come in various strengths. I would say as far as the invisible magnetic snaps go, the ones that I've seen encased in like a black plastic looking sleeve, I found that those to be the weakest. If you're talking about the traditional magnetic snaps, I don't think I've purchased any that have been weak, but it can be an issue with the invisible magnetic snaps, at least. Some being too weak to go through fabric.
There are going to be patterns coming out next week. I hope not, because we did not film anything.
Lorraine says, are there going to be patterns coming out next week? No, I'm still working on some new patterns, and I think I'm happy that we're doing book club and the free book club projects, but I think the book club projects just threw me off a little because there's a brand new one every month, and so we just need a little bit more time for the next 4-pack video bundle and the new videos to come out. It is on the top of my mind, but I also recognize that the book club projects are important as well, and those are, for now, at least my first priority to make sure that we get those done on time every month. Michelle says you could just trim the zipper after it's finished. If you meant on the Clydebank, you can, but you just need to leave a little tail to cover the raw end of the cut zipper if you do decide to do that. Margaret says, Sarah, how did you get started with sewing and bags? That's a great question. I don't think we've talked about that in a while, so thanks for asking that, Margaret. I started my blog back when blogs were actually a big thing. It was in September of 2010. And I started my blog because I had 2 friends that had blogs and I just wanted to fit in. So I was like, all right, I'll start a blog also. And it was just, I was learning to sew as an adult. And so it was just a record of my progress. So every week I'd post photographs on my blog and I'd talk about the project that I made. And at first it was just little stuff for the kids. A couple months after that, I made my first quilt and I was like, this is pretty neat. Making something so large that we can use. And what else? How did I get started with the bags? So Amy Butler has a book called Style Stitches. There were 12 bag patterns in the book, and I had a friend, we're still friends, but she had a monthly sew along for this book. So every month we'd make one of the bags from the book, and I was like, this is really fun making bags because you can generally, depending on the project, start it and finish it in the same day, and that's not necessarily true for quilts or other things. And so I thought it was really fun, and so I started writing free patterns for my blog just because I thought it was cool, and I wanted to see what it was like, and I enjoyed doing it, and so I designed more and more bag patterns, and there you have it. So I guess I could say more about that, but let me see. Yeah,
That's enough.
That's enough? Okay.
We only got so much time on the show, Sarah.
Terry says, can we talk zippers? Found a parka double zipper. Could I use that one on a bag? So I think generally parka zippers are the chunky plastic teeth. When I first started making bags, I was always using parka zippers or what they're also called sport zippers. They have the chunky teeth also. And I thought they were cool. Since then, and since I found handbag zippers, I've kind of walked that back a little bit. You can use a parka zipper for a lot of projects. Depending on the project, though, the chunky plastic teeth make certain projects more trying, like especially if you have to sew a zipper through a curve, like the Creative Maker supply case. So I guess I'll just say that. Again, it can be used, but that's my little warning about the parka or the sport zippers. Colleen says, what's on your shirt? I don't know if you want to take Colleen's comment off for just a second. I did decide, I know lately I've been wearing a lot of t-shirts again. I just feel a little bit lazy getting dressed before the show, but I have been trying to wear sewing-related t-shirts. So this one says, you down with EPP? Yeah, you know me.
English paper piecing.
English paper piecing. And what's the song that this is originally based on?
I don't listen to that kind of music,
You down
so I
with
couldn't
OPP?
tell you.
You know, you down with OPP? Yeah, you know
What's
me.
that?
You don't know what song? Who's?
No, I've never heard it.
Are you being totally serious?
I'm only halfway serious.
You're joking.
I don't know. I don't really know what you're talking about. I'm more into classical music. It's not Beethoven or Bach. I wouldn't know it.
Donna says, what riding discipline are you learning? Oh, I see the horse in your avatar. Beautiful. I'm doing hunter jumpers. I actually had a great lesson today. I was really scared about the lesson when I got there. Generally, I like to show up like an hour before the lesson so I can see the lesson before me, and then I have time to get my horse ready and all that stuff. So because I was way early today, I got to see the whole entire lesson before me, and my trainer was taking the rider, I don't know, a little bit to task, and so I started getting worried, like, all right, is that going to be the same case for me? And so I was worrying about that, and then my horse was a little bit of a crabby pants today, and he's been like that one time before, and the other time that it happened, the lesson didn't go so well, like, because we were butting heads, but like the lesson...
What horse are you riding today?
Fred. Fred's my bud. Fred loves food, though, so I can't give him any snacks until he's completely finished. But the lesson went awesome. We did something kind of new today. I don't know. The lessons have been doing really good. Every time I leave, I'm like, all right, I did good today. And it hasn't been that case in the past. In the past, okay.
You want to get your cotton candy bags?
Yes. Laura says, someone earlier wanted you to show your cotton candy bag. Oh, yes, I can. I'll grab all three of them. So this was the one from Laura's letter where she was talking about making 305. This is the cotton candy pouch from Minikin Season 1. So it comes in 3 different sizes. So large, medium, and this is the small. Actually, Laura, I'm curious if you're making all 3 sizes or if you just focus on one size. Personally, the medium is my favorite size, but...
It's just right.
It's just right. It's like
It's an interesting thumbnail, by the way.
Denise says, Sarah, do you have a favorite temporary basting spray? I like the June Taylor basting sprays. I've used that one. I've gone through several canisters in the past, and they carry it at my local Joann Fabrics, so I can always get it easily. Yeah, I like that avatar also. It's so funny because I follow the Bearded Dragon hashtag on Instagram, and half of the photos are of actual Bearded Dragon lizards, and the other half are guys with beards. I guess it's a thing to call them bearded dragons, like you would be considered a bearded dragon. And so, but sometimes
I need to shave. It's actually.
But
too
sometimes
long.
the guys are like not wearing shirts and stuff, and like
And that's
I'm
why
like,
you're really following it. And I'm like, oh, Sarah, what are you looking at? Oh, it's just the bearded dragon tag.
No, but
oh,
Violet
yeah.
looks through the hashtag too, and I'm like, I wish all those guys were not on there because I don't know. It's just a little weird. Carla says, will you be carrying Zipper by the Yard for the number 5 zipper? I would like to, but Danny's cut me off from Notions until we move to a bigger facility. So hopefully later on in the year, whenever that happens, we can have lots of other things like zippers by the yard because I like using them, especially the ones with the metallic, the nylon with the metallic looking teeth. Those are pretty awesome. All right, Cindy says, on the Clydebank, someone mentioned you can attach the end of the zipper with a snap secured inside the bag, but then you would have to add part of the snap on the end of the zipper. Oh, that's a really good idea because it would stay inside the bag too. Maybe making a little on the zipper tab or making the tab bigger perhaps and then having the snap on there. But yeah, the snap would have to be in your lining also. But I like that idea. That's really cool. And I don't think I've seen it in a store-bought bag before, but that would be a great option because I see a lot of store-bought bags with zipper tails like in the Clydebank, and that's a really good idea for both sewing and store-bought bags. Mary says, another zipper question. I get a wavy effect if I'm sewing a zip on a U-shaped purse. What am I doing wrong?
Maybe you should try Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape.
I would say that for a zipper pocket, yeah. I think she's talking about sewing the zipper.
I thought it was just a zipper, not a pocket.
If you're talking about sewing a zipper through the curve, I usually make sure to either quarter or center the zipper. So find the center of your fabric or the bag, wherever you're putting the zipper, if it's a flap or whatever. Find the zipper of that, find the center of that, find the center of the zipper, and then pin it.
See, Karen, I had the same thought.
Pin the center and then pin the upper corners so that you can evenly distribute the zipper tape. Karen says, have you tried using Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape? That helps to hold the zipper in place. All right, you've put me in my place for tonight.
I was thinking the same thing.
I guess you really are sometimes paying attention when we're filming the videos. Just sometimes. Oh, I see a comment from Barb. English writing uses so many more muscles than Western. It uses a lot of core muscles, and my trainer's been having me, she's been focusing on my technique lately, and so she's always, the last few lessons, she's been telling me to stick my butt out, and I'm like, it's just so hard to do that when you're, like...
That's what I told Sarah, why don't you do Western riding? It just seems so much more fun is to just get on a horse, ride around, and enjoy it.
Bronwyn says, Fred is my cat. He likes to ride my other cat, Steven. Steven is not a fan.
That would be a funny video, let me tell you what. Mary says, Pixar did not happen, Bronwyn.
I like that. Kelly says, what advice can you give a brand new sewist that's scared to cut the material? That's a very real problem, even for non-brand new sewists, especially if you're working with a fabric that's very dear to you. Either it costs you a lot of money, it's out of print, you can't find it anymore. You can always go with a fabric that you're less in love with for your first project. Maybe make the project first in that fabric, and when you're successful, then you can move on to fabric that you love a bit more so that you don't have to be worried about it. But always, what's the adage? Measure twice, cut once. That's a good tip to go with as well. Karen says, I ordered 2 light sets for my sewing machine last week. Do you know if they shipped? You can always feel free to email me if you have any shipping or order questions. My email is sarah@sewsweetness.com, and that's Sarah with no H. So I'm happy to email you back about that. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. Cindy says, do you think you can do a tutorial on how to add a snap to the zipper at some point? Fantastic. I will write that to my list. Thank you. Snap on zipper tab. Maybe I'll work on that for this Sunday. I'm not sure. I have to check my schedule, but I'm not sure if I had anything for this Sunday, so maybe I could do it for Sunday. Sarah, do you ever use leather in your bags? I've used actual real leather maybe 2 or 3 times. I got a couple leather hides from Tula Pink to use in some bags, and I think they were like metallic. One was purple, one was like a silver metallic, like iridescent. They were really pretty. I don't know. I guess since we started carrying the Cork is a good alternative to the real leather, and so I do enjoy using the Cork fabric. It's really fun to sew with. Kim says you should try Equestrian Drill Team Western riding. Oh, that's interesting.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Linda had a funny one.
Linda says, first time I cut $130 fur, I almost hyperventilated. Yeah, I probably would too. That's a lot of money.
You don't want to make a mistake.
I wonder what that was for. Probably a garment.
Probably.
Sounds
Maybe a
like.
jacket.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I see so many comments coming through, like not questions, which I super love. People are talking to each other, and that's one of my most favorite things about our live shows, the interaction. Denise says, go to your local thrift shop and get material there in case you mess up. You won't be out of a lot of money, and they have nice fabric. It's not junk. That is where most of my material comes from. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like, or estate sales too. People are perhaps clearing out their sewing room, downsizing to a smaller space, donating fabric, and that's a good way to pick up some really nice things, but inexpensively. Elisette said, why is there no foam or batting in the Cumberland backpack front flap? I don't have Cumberland backpack to grab that's in the sewing studio, but I left the extra foam. I'm pretty sure I had the foam in my original prototype and it was just too thick. There was a lot of things in the front area of the Cumberland backpack. There's the flap, there's the front pocket, there's a zipper going around, and there's a twist lock, and so it was just a lot of thickness. So I wanted to eliminate the thickness, hence no foam on that flap. Teresa says, do you have any patterns that have snaps on the handles, pouches maybe? Snaps on the handles. I actually don't. I am working on a pattern for book club. It's the number 3 project. That it's not exactly a snap, but I'm using Chicago screws in an interesting way to hold the bottom part of the bag. I don't know. I designed it. It's hard to visualize. I guess you'll see in a few weeks when we have our number 3 book club discussion. And Laura says 90% of what I sew is with cork, so easy to work with and just love it.
So that means that's a lot of cork if you know, 305 cotton candy pouches.
I got the LED lights for my Juki. When I took it in for service, he had to take them off. Now they won't stay on. Any suggestions? You want to talk
Double-sided tape.
Well, first you want to clean off the previous tape with
alcohol.
What do we use? Either alcohol or
peroxide
or WD-40.
rubbing alcohol.
However you want to test that on an inconspicuous.
WD-40.
Yeah, didn't we use that on the sewing machine? On mine?
I don't remember using WD-40.
My dad lent us a container. I'm pretty sure we used it.
That.
Whatever you use to remove the double-sided tape, make sure you test it first, like on the back of your sewing machine, just to make sure it doesn't
rub off the paint or
anything like
damage
that.
It.
And then what your recommendation was double-sided tape.
Yeah.
Like 3M probably makes some.
Most hardware stores will carry a double-sided tape. It's a common product.
Thank you. Yeah, the double-sided tape that came with the original light, it's not removable. So like was mentioned in that comment, you have to completely remove it and replace it if your sewing machine tech tries to take it off or damages it or anything like that.
I wonder why he had to take it off, to be honest.
Maybe he just thought it came off and he didn't know, and he just tried to start peeling it off and it just...
I don't know.
Susan said, the ends of my straps are always messy or bulky and hard to sew. Is there a trip or technique I'm missing? The ends of my straps. I guess it depends on what exactly you're doing with the straps.
How many times you're folding it over? Or...
That's true. There's always different ways you can fold it if your sewing machine's having trouble with the 4 layers. Like if you're pressing it like double fold bias tape with the 4 layers and your machine's struggling, you could always do 3 layers, which means you'd have to adjust the width a little. So for instance, if you're looking for 1-inch wide straps, if the pattern instructions tell you to press it like double fold bias tape, which means in toward the center, fold it in half and then in toward the center crease. If you want to just do 3 layers instead, you'd cut it instead 3 inches wide and you'd press it kind of in thirds, pressing in the long edge to cover the raw edges. So I forgot where I was going with that. I apologize. Terry says, what happens if you have to rip out stitching on cork? Is there a good way to do that? I have done that in the past. You can cover the area where the stitches have been removed with a pressing cloth first and then hit it with a little bit of steam from your iron. It won't completely close the holes, but they will sort of, in most cases, expand a little bit. And I found this to be the case with leather. Again, you want to be really careful and make sure the area is covered with your pressing cloth and don't get your iron too close to the pressing cloth, even though the cloth is there as well. Kate said, what's linky? So sometimes when I do contests on my blog, like for the book club, we have prizes coming up and people can enter photos of their finished book club projects to be eligible for the prizes. So I use a website service called, it's called a linky tool. Basically, it allows you to link up your photograph of your finished project. And yeah, so that's what the linky means. Another question from Sonia.
More of a comment.
A comment. I posted a picture on the website about the numbers rubbing off of my ruler with alcohol. Be careful with that stuff. I saw
alcohol removes this.
I saw the photo.
Moving paint.
It was of a quilting ruler, I believe, where the numbers were in black, so they were printed on. It was just a regular quilting ruler, and the alcohol removed all the markings, or most of them.
Yep.
I remember seeing the ruler. Barb says, I really have a problem with the top of the park sling. Never seems to fit as nicely as yours does. Any suggestions? I'm not sure if you mean the top area where the loop is for hanging the bag. If you meant that your lining fabrics were not fitting, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. But you can feel free to email me, Sara@sewsweetness.com. Ruth says eliminate the interfacing at the end of the straps. That's a good tip as well.
Yeah, multiple people said that.
Patricia says do not extend the interfacing on the strap all the way to the ends. Leave about 1/2 inch free of interfacing. That's a great tip. Thank you. Also, if you're putting like a strap insert inside, like foam interfacing, like for a padded strap, you can follow that same tip by not extending the interfacing all the way to both of the ends. Jess says, I saw something about using a slice of bar soap on dark fabric when out of chalk. That's a good idea. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Most people have soap in their house, I would think.
Yep.
Are you cutting us off?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So thank you again so much for watching this episode of Ask Sara. We'll be back again next Tuesday. Danny will be back for, I think, 2 more shows until we have our book clubs.
She's counting them down. What a smile on her face.
Well, it's fun having Tamara here for book club, but you're a good
I like having
partner
her
also.
over.
Yes.
She's very nice.
All right. So I hope you have a great week. I hope you have some great weather in your part of the world, and happy sewing. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.